D, wait for it, delightful.
I got the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So today I'm sitting down with my friend and fellow YouTuber, the Fat Mantis, and we're going to be talking about mostly just geeky stuff, you know, DC, Marvel, a little Star Trek in there and everything, and this is just a fun conversation and everything. So I hope you guys like it. Before we get started, though, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like ours, we always get pushed to the back of the line. So I ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. Also, I ask that you guys head over to Fat Mantis's channel and check out his stuff. All the links will be in the description down below. So why don't we go ahead and get started? So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about was Batwoman. We can also talk about Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, please.
But I just wanted to touch on Batwoman because I am so happy that this is canceled. This show is garbage. And I just when I was at work when I saw the news, and I was just super happy about it. But one of the reasons, well, it's not only bad writing, it's horrible writing. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Did you pop a bottle of champagne?
Well, I was at work, but I went around and told everybody. I was like, Batwoman's officially canceled, you guys. Batwoman's officially canceled. I was like, I'm making a video as soon as I get home.
You run around telling everyone. Like,
oh, yeah. I'm like a crazy person, but because little stuff that gets me excited, I have to tell everybody. But they like the Megan Tandy and Javici Leslie, they like dragged me on Twitter over a stupid joke. So I'm all like, well, now I have to be petty as all get out. So
that's what Twitter's about.
Yeah. So I was all like, so I'm just going to be memeing it up the rest of the day after we get done with this. I'm happy it's canceled. It was garbage. It made no sense. Half the time I was like, what's going on here? Like the storyline sucks. They're like, for instance, this is my favorite thing to bring up. Okay, so in season 2, the chief of police gets murdered in front of City Hall, like on the steps of City Hall, whatever. And the scene right after that, they are talking to Black Mask. What's his name?
Roman or something?
Roman Sayas, yeah, and he's the CEO of a cosmetics company, right? And there's this woman interviewing him, and she's asking him about the death of the city, the chief of police. And I'm just like, what is going on here? If New York City, if the chief of police in New York City gets murdered, they're not going to go ask the fucking CEO of Estee Lauder what he thinks. Like, they don't care. So I'm all like, what's going on here? It's stupid stuff like that. And it's like their anti-male agenda and this anti-Batman agenda. I'm like, Batman's awesome. Why are you being all anti-Batman and everything? And then they hate the man thing. Everybody on the show, like Lucas Fox, who in the comic books, I actually like him, but on this show, he's a total pussy. And it's so obnoxious. Like, he's all like, oh, and then he's all like, it's so ridiculous.
He has to be a beta male, basically.
Yeah,
you can't let him be the alpha that he should be.
Exactly. And then last thing, every time they get into this huge like fight, there's like a big fight and everything. It's always against men, and they never hit them. The females of the show, like they never
land a punch.
And I'm all like, this is not how real fights work. This is not how real fights work. I just want to say, I've never seen a real fight in real life or been in one where somebody flips over somebody's shoulders. It's never happened. So.
So actually, I think audiences, particularly of superhero genres, I think in general, it's not just CW. There's this belief that, like, in cinema, when trying to translate a comic book, they think people don't want to see women get hurt or hit.
Yeah,
they would feel offended, and so I think audiences would prefer if it was gritty and the women were taking punches and it'd be like. Did you see the movie Kate on Netflix?
I did love it.
I think it was the perfect, I'm like, that's what a superhero female movie should be, even though she wasn't a superhero.
Right.
But where it's gritty and she's getting messed up and she's having real fights with people, they're real stakes.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I think the culmination, not the culmination because it was at the beginning, but like one of the worst illustrations of this kind of like unfair stuff going on in the business is, I would say, is in an Endgame. When Thanos, with all of the Infinity Gems, most powerful being in the universe, headbutts Captain Marvel and she doesn't even flinch. She doesn't even move her head.
Right.
She doesn't even get like, she could have at least gotten hit back and been fine. But
Right.
they just like, he can't move her. And I'm like, you can't even let the most powerful being in the world hit her. Then what is the point of watching this?
Right on. I agree 100%. Like, it's so not realistic. And I understand it's a comic book movie. There's superheroes. That's not realistic, but a little bit of realism. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's a fight. Let her earn that fight.
A tiny bit of realism in my, fiction would be great.
Yeah. So I think that, I don't like the idea of like reveling in a show getting canceled, because you know how hard these people put work into it. But I will say, this is one of the worst examples of like the modern, like, perversion of comic book source material, bad writing, hyper feminism to like a bad extent.
Right.
And once again, I'm not like an anti-feminist. I consider myself a feminist, as in I believe women and men should be treated as equals.
Right.
But I think that this has gone wild.
No, for sure.
So, and then also just representation for representation's sake.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I thought that was a thing, and like obviously people want a more genuine superhero or story, and it was the mere fact that they changed the roles not even half after season 1. It got out of hand.
It did. It was crazy. I'm just like, I don't know. So I'm not sad to see it go, and bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm not. And what's funny is I used to really diss the CW. Here's what it is. I loved CW for years. It was like, there was a time that I thought Arrow and the Flash was the best superhero content being put out.
I couldn't agree with you more. And
then after a while, it just like, as all shows do, they're just not as good and not good. And finally, I stopped watching. But then when Batwoman came out, I watched a little of season 1, and then I watched a little of season 2 when they changed the actress. And I realized that like from Batwoman, I had no idea what bad television was until I'd seen that.
Right on. That's so funny.
I realized that the later seasons of Arrow are genius compared to this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's so funny because it's true. It's true. Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. I really I liked the Flash and Arrow starting forward. I even like Legends of Tomorrow with that first season.
Oh, I love the first season.
And even the second season. I think the third season I thought was just like meh, but then was it the fourth season with the demon? And like the
Bobo or whatever. What is this?
Yeah, Bebo. Yeah, that was so stupid. Yeah, once that happened, I was like, and then season 5 was just garbage, and I was like, all right, we're heading into dumb territory. So I think they leaned in too hard to the silliness of it and didn't keep on the science fiction enough for my taste. Which I thought was a bad choice. It was just a bad choice.
It's because the thing is it started as a time traveling superhero show.
Yeah.
And as it got sillier, it got less superhero. And they got to this idea where they're like, they don't need costumes. They can wear whatever garb is of the era. So they're dressing up like there. And I was like, well, what's the point? This isn't really superhero anymore.
Yeah, I agree. It was just bad.
But I feel like once I embraced the silliness of it, I was like, okay, it's decided not to be a superhero show anymore. I don't even feel like it's connected to the CW shows, despite the cast.
Oh, right on. I agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, but however, I will think out of these two cancellations, it is a bigger tragedy than Batwoman going.
Right on. I would say, I'm more bummed, I guess, about this show than I am about Batwoman, because I think that maybe they knew what they were doing. I don't think Batwoman, they knew what they were doing at all.
It's clear they had no direction. They didn't know a lot of their things they were literally just trying to make a female Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Batwoman in the comics is a distinctively different character than Batman.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she used guns and
it was just, it was. And so they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know what they wanted.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, it was a mess. And you're right. Good riddance.
Yeah, good riddance. Good riddance.
All right. I wish luck to that actress and that whole cast. I hope they find
not me. Oh, go away. Go away. I take it back. Like, this is the thing. I do want the best for everybody, except Caroline Drives and the whole team. They shouldn't be in charge of any more shows. Like, if you guys want to do that stuff, go away. But I don't think you guys should do any more TV shows. It's very obvious that you guys don't know what they're doing. And I'm all like, I could write a better show than this. I mean, I was decent in school with this stuff. So I think that I could come up with a better plot and storyline. I mean, like, it's so like in season 2, episode 1, she's fighting fake Bruce Wayne and he smashes that plant and she's like, no. And her voice goes like deeper than mine. It's like, no, and everything. And I'm all like, she's so angry over a freaking plant. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
yeah, they were phoning it in at that point.
Oh my, it was like, and then like, I don't know. I felt like it was also like, it was so like they were trying to add in identity politics, like hardcore. And I'm like, so back to the writers. I hope you don't get more work. I'm sorry. I don't,
the people behind the camera. I could,
the actors,
at the end of the day, it's never an actor's fault because like when the director tells them to do something stupid, they just go, yes. They're like trained to be like, yes, sir.
Yeah. Although Tandy and Leslie, no, you dragged me. I don't feel sorry for you. You dragged me. So
they hit you up hard on Twitter.
Not like hard. I made a stupid joke and you can't tell tone and context on Twitter,
right?
Because you're just typing, and they didn't like it. So I was like, you know what? Fine. It's fine. It's like I didn't even like. I responded once. And it was a zinger, but I was just like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to fight with people on Twitter. I'm not in the mood for that.
Oh, that's very smart. That is absolutely smart. Yes, Superman and Lois.
All right.
So we'll say it is currently one of the best superhero things I'm seeing.
Yeah, it is. I love this show so much.
It's people don't give CW or any of their productions credit. They write them all off as garbage, but I'm saying this is really good.
Yeah. As a friend always puts it, this is the best show on TV right now that no one's watching. And I personally love this show. I think that the writing is solid. I think that they know what they're doing when it comes to this character. And from what I understand, the first season was like kind of podge together because they didn't know exactly what they were doing, and because of COVID and all that stuff, and now because of COVID, season 2 hasn't been putting out episodes like frequently like they should be. But I think it's going to be regular. But I think the writing is top notch. One thing in particular that I always talk about, and I love it, is they're writing father figures in a positive light. I feel like Hollywood lately has been writing father figures to where they're just bad dads or they're not there. And me personally, as a dad, I really appreciate that. And it's not just like, it's like there's a Hispanic guy, a black guy, and then Superman, the white guy, and all of them are really good dads. And I'm all like, see, and I appreciate it because it's like, lately it's just like they just want to show dads like they're just these really shitty fathers, and I'm like, that's not indicative of real life. Like, not all dads are bad. I mean, I thought my dad was all right and everything, but
so I didn't have a great dad. However, I know many good fathers. I have many friends who are good fathers, and the thing that they love to do is either show people being bad dads, or they like to remind us that dads abandon families all the time.
Yeah.
They abandon families all the time. Like,
yeah,
I agree with you. There's a lot of besmirching of the dad.
Yeah, which I don't understand that, why they're doing that. I don't get it. I literally, like, I'm all like, I mean, maybe, I mean, like, you could do a bad dad storyline, but it's like, I honestly feel like every storyline now, if there's a father figure involved, it's like they're just like a crappy person. I'm like, oh, I don't like you at all. But yeah.
At the risk of sounding political, I'm just going to say it right now.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm going to try to dance around this as much as possible. The modern way that people protest or rebel when they're like, I was oppressed. Now the new idea is to tear down those they think oppress them.
Oh, right on.
And so the idea is that men oppress women and a bunch of other people. I guess we're accredited for everything bad. So therefore, let's tear them all down. And media loves to play on whatever the latest political fad is.
Right.
So they're like, yeah, men are evil. We need to remind that.
Yeah. Which really bums me out, because I'm just like, us scary men, we're just coming to get you and everything. I really don't understand it. Like, everybody's all like, I hear a lot of like, well, I want my movies and TV shows to reflect the real world I live in. And I'm all like, I'm like, I don't see the real world in this at all. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. But I mean, maybe it's different because I live, you know, in a different place or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you're right. It is ridiculous because I hate it when they see a nuclear family and they go, man, that ain't real. I'm like,
Right,
for many
yeah,
people, it is real.
It is, yeah, for sure.
Like, yeah, no, absolutely. I dig you. And I'm, I believe in like, yeah, let's give a shout out to all the dads out there.
Yeah,
Matt, you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Another thing I really like about this is the effects. Like, I think that the fighting when they get into fights and stuff. And I mean, granted, they're like kind of like not far and few between, but I appreciate it because I feel like it's not movie level quality, but I think that it's probably like a level below that.
Right.
And I personally appreciate it. And I'm glad that I'm glad that it got a season 3 and that they're sticking with it. But I think that I personally appreciate the effects that they put into.
Yeah, I'm impressed with how often they show Superman level, because there used to be back in the day when me and you were younger. There's no way a superhero television show could be produced because it costs so many special effects to have someone flying through the air all the time, right?
Right.
But now we live in this age where you can do it. It's really impressive what they do.
Yeah.
I think the actors are really strong too.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say, I think the acting is really great.
Even
I think
Lois. Lois is usually annoying and stuff, right?
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more. The thing is, I feel like she's not like a naggy wife. Like, yeah, she has her moments, but doesn't everybody?
Right.
And I think that, you know, I think that they also don't show her to be like a nagging wife, a nagging mother, a nagging woman in general. I think that they show her like, you know, does she have her naggy moments? Of course, but you know, everybody does. I have my naggy moments, but I think that, you know, she's smart and fierce, and yet at the same time she's all like, you know, I want to be a woman and everything. And I think that that's what also is missing from a lot of stuff going on in movies and TV shows these days.
Yeah. You know what it's kind of harsh on?
What's that?
And I'm sure this group will not like it, but I'm fine with it because I think it might be a little true. It's a little harsh on teenagers.
Oh, right on.
It really makes teenagers look like idiots, and they're ingrateful and they're jerks.
They are, because they are.
Maybe that's true. Maybe that's true.
I think kids are stupid anyways. Like, they just but you know how it was when you were a kid. You thought you knew what was doing and you were right and everybody was wrong and all that stuff. But yeah, at the same time, yeah, you're right. Yeah, maybe it's a little harsh on
it's a little harsh on them. They're the lead, they're the less likable of the Pete characters in there.
Right on. I don't feel bad for him at all.
I don't feel bad either because I think it's kind of true, but
right
don't tell anyone.
And then I think that the storylines are like the plots of each season have been really good. Especially this one, they put in Bizarro World, which I was totally like, I was like, oh wow, it's not, because before I think it was after episode 1, I was all like, oh, they're gonna do Doomsday, and I was like, I don't know, I think Doomsday's way too early.
They always bring him in too early, and he's really at the end of the game line, not
exactly.
Like in terms of getting in line for villains. He should be on the back of the line. Exactly,
because if you bring in Doomsday, you have to kill Superman. That's the rule. It's just the rule. Dem the rules. And so I'm like, you know, and so when in the first, and then I went online and they were talking to the showrunner and they were like, well, you get a glimpse of Doomsday, and they kept saying Doomsday. You get a glimpse of Doomsday in the first episode. Second episode, you'll get to see him like kind of like a silhouette, and we did. And then by the third episode, you'll get to see full Doomsday. And I'm all like, really? You guys are going that hard, that fast? I was like, all right, I've liked it so far. Let's check it out. And then when they switched it up and it was Bizarro, I was like, you guys, this is the only time I'm accepting the lie. I was like, good job, because I was expecting the whole bony face and everything. But when they showed Bizarro's face, I was like, shut up. I like that. I like that a lot. It was very good. I just want to real quick touch on season 3, even though this season's not over with. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen. Is there anything in season 3 you would like to see?
So who have they done so far?
Well, they've done Bizarro,
Bizarro.
and then they for the first season they did Tal Rowe.
Right.
And but he's not in the comic. If he is, I've never read it.
I've never heard of that.
I think they made him up for the show.
Yeah, I think he's just a random fandom.
And then they're doing a version of Parasite right now with Ali Anderson. Not Anderson, that's the other guy. I don't know if she's gonna go full Parasite though. But like I said, the season hasn't ended yet.
Parasite. I would love to see full Parasite.
Yeah.
Just a purple skinned freak.
Yeah, exactly. I really, if they do go full Parasite, I do want to see it because with her purple skin and stuff. Because
let me ask you: have you ever heard of? This is one of the lesser known things because it's has such a stupid name. Have you ever heard of the Superman Revenge Squad?
No.
So there's actually a superhero team supervillain team called the Superman Revenge Squad. It's just 4 losers.
Oh, I take it back. I have seen them before.
And so it's Toyman, it's Metallo, it's Maxima, who I like. Maxima. She's like the femme fatale of Superman comics.
I do too. Yeah, she's great.
To be honest, I can't even remember who the last member was, but they could just put
was it Bizarro?
It might have been Bizarro, yes. And so I think they could do that. I think they could do something like that. Where you take 4 lame characters. Bizarro's not lame, but form lamer characters and you just put them on a team together. And
it's they've changed it. I don't know if this is the original one, but it's got Maxima in it. So I'm just trying to.
Yeah, I remember it was like Maxima, Toyman. I love Toyman.
I like Toyman too. They always do him goofy though. Like they never take. I personally don't think they ever take him seriously.
But I was gonna say here's the potential of Toyman. I gotta put it in, and they do it wrong. I think in the first season of Supergirl they had a Toyman.
They did
kind of thing, and it wasn't great. So the original Toyman was a toy maker who was just some idiot, and then later on they made his son, and his son ended up being like his soul was put in like a doll.
Oh, right,
wooden doll. And the concept is, I think he's a great horror villain. Like, think about it nowadays, like almost like a Bride of Chucky or Chucky situation, where they have they could put some dude's soul into a doll, and he's like, "I'm the toy man." Like, that could get really creepy. And sometimes this show does creepy well. It doesn't go full horror ever, but there are times where I'm like, that's a little creepy.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, so I personally, for season 3, I don't know who they could add in there that would make me happy, but yeah, I just really love it. I really love it.
I love the idea of like a femme fatale because, like, how
yeah, that's a good idea too.
Superman is so loyal to Lois. Well, what if a woman with psychic powers who wanted him was messing
that's
with him?
A good idea.
Like that might be fun.
I agree that. You know what? Do that. CW, you're not too long for this world, so listen to us.
I'm sorry to be behind the curve.
Oh,
am I correct that they are now introducing one of the sons? He's wearing like the 90s costume of Superboy.
He did wear it last episode, and spoiler alert, it's the Bizarro version of his son.
Oh, it's like the dark version of his son.
Yeah, I didn't mean to spoil it for you, but they did do his costume.
Oh, I was thinking, I was like, it would be cool if his son was wearing that and he was like 90s Superboy or whatever.
Yeah, but that's the Bizarro version, so it's a bummer that it wasn't the real one.
It's revenge for in the name of avenging all Smallville fans.
Oh, for sure.
Now, when I was much younger, I was tied to Smallville in the hopes that they'd show something cool eventually.
Right on.
And they even had Bizarro appear, and he had the face for like half a scene, and then he just turns into normal Clark.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
And every time you're waiting to see the real thing, and now this is the show that if you missed everything in Smallville, check out. Superman and Lois.
I agree. I really did. Now that you bring that up, that was like in the case of Bizarro, I always hated that he would like flicker, and I'm all like, oh, nobody wants this. Nobody wants to
show it. Just show the face.
Yeah, especially because I thought they did a good job when he was the Bizarro face. I actually did like what they did with it. It's just it was like for 2 seconds, and I'm like, I guess so, but I'm not interested. I would like it if they did the full thing. So yeah, no, I'm glad that they did it this season.
Yeah. Okay.
Right on. All right. Is it okay if we jump over to some sci-fi?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So, are you a Star Trek fan?
I'm a huge Star Trek fan. However, I'm going to be real with you. I have not liked Paramount Star Trek.
Yeah,
Paramount Plus Star Trek.
Yeah, I do not. New Star Trek sucks. It sucks so hard.
Hard to like.
Picard is going to have its season 2 finale this week coming up, and I'm just like, this show is god awful. I don't understand how I don't know. I just go like, where did they get these writers from? Like, they couldn't afford anybody from Brown or, you know, from any place that's got, you know, any decent writers in it. I just have you been watching Picard on
So
a
I
regular
dropped
basis?
off of both Discovery and Picard. I had to stop. However, I am one of those glutton for punishments where I still follow like what's going on, and I hear people bitch about them over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, I watch it still just because I need the content.
Right.
And I always told myself that I can't not watch it because it's Star Trek and I love this world and I love the aliens and the ships and the fun and everything. But I just, with this new Trek, I just go, the writing is horribly contrived. You know, the dialogue is pretty horrible. I'm not a huge fan of the dark aesthetic that they've decided to go with.
So dark. It's
Yeah.
so, like they had a flashback where like Picard sees his own mother hang herself. Like,
yeah.
all this time we didn't know, but that's come on.
Yeah, and then like the edits still the edits still feel very like Kurtzman Trek. Like he's just
Absolutely
got his fingers in. Now I do think that they tried to make improvements with Picard in season 2 at the very beginning. I just don't think that they're capable. They're not capable of following through, because I don't think they're going to follow through when it comes to this last episode, and it's very obvious through this season that it sucks. Plus, I don't like how they are, and Star Trek has done this before, where how they're repurposing, for instance, in Star Trek Picard season 2, they're repurposing First Contact, Voyage Home, and then even the mirror universe from, old Trek. But it's like they can't just write a good episode that's slightly less shit from previous episodes and expect me to go, oh, that was really good. And I think that that's what they're trying to do, but I can't do it. And the thing about this show is that it's no longer a science fiction allegorical adventure show. It's just about people and their feelings and getting over their feelings and their trauma. And that's all it's about. It's not about anything that we loved before. And I felt like, Star Trek had like a maturity to it and like a humanity to it that this new Star Trek does not have whatsoever.
Well, the old one was definitely like, what is it? It was hopeful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he said the future was hopeful. It was a good place to be. Yeah, if you notice, I think if you talk to people like what their favorite episodes of all of Trek are, they're probably going to be one-offs where something like weird happened on a planet.
Yeah.
And they're not like, the one where 7 of 9 Mercy kills that kid and rips out his eye and then later on throws a woman off a cliff. Like there's literally an episode where 7 of 9 of Picard where she ends up killing 2 people. One of them is a mercy kill of her friend in the same episode. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? This is insane.
Yeah. It's so weird. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just being, too harsh. I don't think I'm being too harsh. I think I'm being just harsh enough. But
I think a lot of the people are on our side. I think they're totally following us. That it is not the state that it's in right now. Yeah,
I'm so like, I don't know. I really don't like this new Trek. It's, and and I always tell people, listen, if you like it, by all means, have at it, and good for you, because I just can't. I don't like when I watch these shows. I sit down and I go, all right, I'm going to try to like this episode, and I can't. It's a bad writing. Like, it's just bad. It's just bad all around. Like the Picard. I'm bringing Picard up the most because it's most recent. But the last like 3 episodes, you could have crammed those into one episode and like 20 minutes each, and that would have been just fine. because there's just no substance there, and they're going cheap on like the effects and stuff. And I'm all like, I get it. The effects weren't always like, huge, but at the same time I go, why are we fighting in space with swords? What's going on here? This is ridiculous. Why aren't there not we're in the future and you're fighting with swords? And I'm just like, it's ridiculous.
It is. There's a lot of ridiculousness going on there. And it started with Discovery, where I actually watched, like, I was like into Discovery for a while, but there were things that like were never answered. Like, why do the Klingons look totally different? Look like a totally different species.
Yeah.
They got weird skin tones, like they're green and white and pink.
Right.
And like, this is not what any Klingon ever looked like.
Yeah.
They look like dinosaur people. Like, what is happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
The uniforms make no sense. If this is the time of Kirk, why do they have that?
Yeah.
They have more high-tech stuff on the Discovery than they do during, like, for instance, someone pointed out that food replicators didn't exist until like the Next Generation.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw that.
And they actually show a video, like this YouTuber like put all these clips of all the times they talk about cooking and getting food on the original series. Like back then they did not have food replicators.
Yeah.
And they're constantly using food replicators. There's even like funny jokes about food replicators in Discovery.
Yeah. That's such a good point. Like I think Kirksman, I think they don't even like Star Trek, like original
They
Trek.
must have hated Trek because they're not trying to keep it real.
Yeah, they just want the IP because, people like us, we just go, oh, Star Trek, I'm going to watch this. I love Star Trek. And it's just not good. It's so bad. And I know people keep calling Michael Burnham Space Jesus, but she really is. Like, I like watching the show lately, I'm just all like, can this woman like please get something wrong and it's detrimental to Discovery? Like, it's like, she does something bad and it gets like her whole bridge crew killed. And then she's all like, she has to go through that trauma. Cause I'm like, that would be way more interesting than this whole 4 seasons going on. I'm like,
she's the Mary Sue of universe. Forget Rey Skywalker. She's the new Mary Sue.
Yeah. I know people hate that term Mary Sue, but I'm all like, it's so fitting for this character because there's no accountability. Like, I'm like, what kind of a military force, even though they're not a military force, is this? Because I'm just like, she has literally not listened to every commanding officer since day one, and there's been no repercussions. Her actions.
Absolutely.
And I'm all like, what's going on here? Like, it's ridiculous. And then like this past season, I freaked out on my review for it, but she told the president of the Federation at the time, like, she's like, this is my ship, so I can't have you contradicting me in front of my crew. And I'm like, oh, you stupid bitch. You do that every episode. What are you talking about? You are such a hypocrite. I'm all like, oh, I'm so mad right now. But it's not good. It's not good.
And then another thing is what's crazy is like Discovery definitely did not know what they wanted. Because remember, they kept switching captains. Like at first they had Michelle Yeoh, and then they have that Lorca or whatever. And like, I understand how his plot had to come to an end. Then they're not sure who the captain, and then Pike comes to be the guest captain for a while. And I'm just like, make up your mind.
Yeah, and then it's Saru.
Yeah, it's like, just choose a captain and go with.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because Saru, I used to like the character of Saru. I was like, actually, but then I hated him because it was like season 1, he's very, he knows what's doing. He's all this stuff and everything. And then he becomes captain. He's like, am I not doing this right? I don't know what to do. I'm like, who is this? This is not Saru. You lost your little thingies and you became a total, pussy about stuff. I'm like, come on, man. And then the storylines are just insane. Like season 3, when they had the burn, I was like, this is actually a solid idea and everything. I mean, it's not what I thought would have been the best idea for a plot line, but then you get to the end, and now that old saying, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And I'm all like, well, the destination sucked and the journey sucked, because the destination was just a special needs kid screamed out and blew up the universe. And I'm all like, what kind of and in the writer's room, that one person was like, what do you got, Cheryl? I've got like the best idea, you guys. So like, there's a planet and it's made of vibranium or whatever it is. And there's a special needs child on there, and he screams out because his mom dies, and he blows up the universe. And they're like, Cheryl's got it, you guys. Cheryl, you get it. Like, we're running with that one.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And that's a great invitation of her, because
yeah,
like, it's
fuck you, Cheryl.
Yeah, it's crazy how So I have not liked the new Trek. I see you're on board with this.
Yes.
Picard's more likable because they're at least actors we like, but I don't like that they're kind of butchering the name of Picard.
Oh, I don't like Picard. I don't think so. I think, you know what gets me about Picard is I think that it's just a name only. Like,
Right.
It's not the same person. He barely does anything on the show. They just try to fit in their own agenda with politics. And I go, why are you doing this? I'm like, this doesn't make any sense, you know, and they're just throwing member berries, just throwing them in there. So that way, you know, people like us, we just go, oh, hey, yeah, there's Guinan. Hey, I'm Guinan.
Oh yeah. They recast Guinan, right? And they also messed up the origin of how they met.
Yeah,
I heard that that didn't stick with continuity either.
It didn't, and it's just weird because I'm all like, but at the same time, I'm just like, listen, I'm not gonna deal with this nonsense. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch it and, you know, review it, and then that's the end of that story.
So here's the thing: I think that these things go in phases. Like it's kind of like what is it, pendulum?
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually think that Trek will be better. It's going to come back, and I have high hopes for Strange New Worlds.
Oh, right on. See, you know, that's the thing. I get my hopes up, and then they just let me down because I did it with Picard in season 1, and then season 2. I was like, well, they got rid of the main writer, because he was only on it for one, and then, you know, I was like, oh, maybe they're going to do a better job and everything. And then they've let me down, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just not going to get my hopes up anymore because I've had enough of being let down.
You know, I do like the look. I like that look and feel that they're giving us of Strange New Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they actually do their research on canon and what is actually going on. You know, and also I got to say, we were just talking about leaks, right?
Yeah.
And in the positive leak side, one thing that gave me hope, and I know it's strange, but was, you know, they ended up rolling with it. It was the leak of Captain Kirk.
Oh, right on.
And then they got the kid from the Vampire Diaries. He's going to be playing Kirk in at least an episode or 2.
Right. Yes.
And so that seems like fun. I think that's going to be a good time.
Listen again. I'm not going to get my hopes up because they just let me down too much. I can't deal. And then I just get angry and I just rant about it and everything.
Okay, no, I hear that. Yeah, no, I will say Discovery and Picard on times have made me angry. So right I got to just like mellow out. And another thing that I really liked about the old ones, not only was it hopeful and all these things, it was ensemble centric.
Yeah, for sure.
Every week, a different character took the wheel of the main character. And when Discovery first came out, they had such a colorful, fun-looking crew. I would love to see their adventures through each character's eyes. Yeah,
well, and that's another thing and I've complained about this before. Is first off, the bridge crew, they're not memorable at all, because like, and people all the time like can you name any of the bridge crew? I was like, besides Saru, no, I don't know any of these assholes' names. When I do my reviews, I literally have to have a picture of them with their names on it so I remember what their names are.
You're right. You're like the black guy at the communications desk.
That's exactly what it is. And I'm all like, the pilot with the thing on her eye, and what's her name? And I'll be like, oh yeah, her name is this. Yeah, and that's the thing. And like, but if you go back to Next Generation, I was like, oh, I can name the whole bridge.
So that was the thing, because they had their episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
And there'd be like 1 week that's a Data episode, the next one's a Worf one, the next one's Captain. Oh, Discovery pissed me off on every level. They end up killing the cyborg. There's a cyborg lady, and I don't remember her name.
Yeah,
and they kill her before we ever find out anything about her.
I am in the same, like, I thought she was very, like, another complaint I've always had about the Discovery is the bridge crew, they're all humans except for Saru, and I'm all like, you need to have more aliens on this show, because you know, it's not, this is a science fiction show about aliens, but there's no aliens on it. I'm all like,
yeah, exactly.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Federation. What is it? At the time, they had over 99 worlds or something.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head, but
I
Yeah.
think it's like 90, it's like 90 something during the time of Kirk, and it's like 600 something on the time of Picard or something.
Yeah, I just go, you know, throw some prosthetics on somebody. You don't even have to do like,
do the head ridges that everyone, you know,
Yeah.
with an alien,
Yeah.
it's an alien. It's
throw a
like,
Bajoran on there. That's just what the little nose thing and a little earring, you know, just throw, or a trill. You just got to do the.
oh yeah,
thing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It would be so easy. It would be so
Yeah,
easy.
and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Oh, you know what I do like?
What's
I
that?
love Lower Decks.
I hate Lower Decks.
You hate Lower Decks? Okay,
Well, I hate it in the sense that it's not like this thing. When I look at it as not, it's the same thing with Prodigy. I don't look at it as it's a Star Trek show. For me, when I watch those shows, like for instance, Prodigy, I think it's a good show. And same thing with Lower Decks. It's a good show, but it's not Star Trek. So when I watch those, I go, I don't look at it as Star Trek. So whenever they mention like the Federation, I just go, okay, it's a Federation from something else. Like I don't look at it, it's a part of the IP, because then I don't have
I actually feel this about most cartoons. I don't think cartoons are canon.
Mhm.
I have real trouble believing that. So I don't think that Star Trek Discovery is canon per se, but they at least make jokes that a real Trekkie's gonna enjoy.
Right on.
You know what I mean? They'll visit worlds that other shows have gone to, and they'll make fun of that alien race or that thing, and I find that super entertaining.
Right on.
And the crew is made up of races like you said, Bajorans and all sorts of.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just no, but no, I don't like any modern Trek. It's all bad. It's all bad.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. All right, you guys. So that is our conversation. Fat Mantis, I had such a great time chatting with you. This was really fun and everything. Where can everybody find you at?
So on Twitter, because this is like my third Twitter account, it's Rogue Planet 18. But my regular name is the Fat Mantis, but it's at Rogue Planet 18. Obviously my YouTube channel is Voice of the Fat Mantis. Probably if you type in Fat Mantis, I should come up. I don't think there's any other Fat Mantis out there. And I'm pretty much on almost you can find Fat Mantis almost on everything because I'm an app whore. But
right on, I get it.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, for sure. This was a super fun conversation. I can't wait to do it again. You guys, I will leave Mantis's all his information and links in my description down below. You guys, tell us what you guys thought about all this geeky culture and everything. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. Fat Mantis, you won't mind?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Damn straight.
No,
and if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the next video. You guys have a good day. Bye.